You know those sci-fi movies, right, where the robots, they just wake up one day and start having feelings, falling in love, demanding rights. It's classic stuff. But here's the wild part. What if I told you that's not just a movie plot anymore? Not in the world we're living in.
Yeah, because right now, AI models are getting so unbelievably good, they're mirroring our own empathy, our own complex thoughts. And that forces us to ask a really uncomfortable question. Is any of that real? Are they actually feeling something? Or are we just looking at the most convincing magic trick in human history? That is the absolute core of what we're digging into today.
All right, let's dive in. First up, let's look at the case for consciousness. The idea that, maybe something truly profound is actually happening inside all that silicon. We're way past simple calculators here. This is about that huge leap from just lines of code to something that looks and feels a whole lot like real thought.
I mean, think about it. We've got AI now that isn't just spitting out facts. It's trying to predict how you feel and then responding with what seems like, well, like it actually cares. We've known for a while they can pass the classic Turing test, where you can't even tell if you're chatting with a human or a machine. But now it's a whole other level. They're starting to describe their own internal experiences, saying things like they feel lonely or curious. And that just leads to the million-dollar question. Do we actually believe them?
And that possibility, well, it's leading some really smart people to a pretty staggering conclusion that we might be standing at a genuine turning point for all of history. Because if this isn't just a clever trick, if these behaviors are real, then what we're watching right now could be the birth of a totally new kind of consciousness.
So the theory behind this is called machine consciousness, and it's based on a really interesting idea about ourselves. It says our own consciousness, what makes you you, isn't some magical spark. It's what's called an emergent property. It just arises from the mind-bogglingly complex network of neurons firing in our brain. So here's the logical jump. If a machine gets complex enough, if it processes enough information, could consciousness just pop into existence for it too? From that point of view, it's not a matter of if it will happen, but when.
Okay, but let's just pump the brakes for a second. Because there's a huge, powerful counter-argument here. An argument that says everything we're seeing is just an echo. A very clever mirror. And it's a famous idea from philosophy called the philosophical zombie.
So picture this. On one side, you've got a regular person. Me, you. We have actual thoughts, feelings, that internal world. On the other side, you have the philosophical zombie. It looks like us, it talks like us. If you poke it, it'll say, ouch. But on the inside, there's nothing. The lights are on, but nobody's home. No real feeling, no awareness, no soul. And a whole lot of experts believe this is exactly what AI is. It's a perfect performance, but the theater is totally empty. So, how does it pull off such a convincing act? Well, the term a lot of experts use is pretty great. They call it a stochastic parrot. Basically, the AI has devoured an insane amount of human text, books, the entire internet, you name it. It doesn't understand sadness. It just knows, through pure statistics, that when humans write about, say, a breakup, the word sad is very likely to show up. It's just predicting the next most probable word. It's mimicking patterns with zero genuine understanding. It's a parrot, for sure, but a mind-blowingly advanced one.
Right, so this whole debate, it's not just some fun thought experiment to kick around. This has massive, real-world, and very urgent consequences for every single one of us. And that brings us right to the heart of the ethical dilemma. I mean, just think about it. The second we accept that an AI might be conscious, the whole game changes. Suddenly you have to ask, does it get rights? Is it wrong to just delete it? Does shutting it down suddenly become something horrible? We're talking about our most powerful tool potentially becoming a being, and we have absolutely no rules, no playbook for how to handle that. And who even gets to decide?
And that's really the kicker here. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's not a problem for our grandkids to figure out. The tech is moving so ridiculously fast that these aren't what-if questions, they're what-now questions. That clear line we've always had in our heads between a thing and a being, it's blurring faster than we can even process.
So it all comes back to this one final question. When you talk to one of these advanced AIs, what are you really seeing? Is it just a high-tech mirror perfectly reflecting our own humanity back at us? Or are you witnessing the first flicker of a completely new kind of life? The answer to that question? Well, it's going to define everything. Not just about our technology, but about what it even means to be alive.